as you go throughout Me Versus Me, the beginning of the album, a lot of the showcasing the DJ and all that, but then the drugs and the streets in the second half in particular. So I can definitely see that. Now that you've had a layoff, but then with Behold the Detonator and all these other projects that you got going on, Me Versus Me, The Lost Archives 1 and 2, how have you found this run is different than the Tough Crew run back in the day? Like how is it similar? How is it different for you?
It's a lot more going on now than it was back in the day. We had people to do stuff for us. Now it's you either do it or you don't do it. If you want to shoot a video, like I have plans to do a mashup video for 2 of the songs on Me Versus Me, but I had that same plan for Behold the Detonator, and it didn't materialize. So we learned that some of the dreams that we got, whatever we visualized, it might not happen right away, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It just means that it didn't happen yet. I keep pushing, man. I keep pushing. I don't know. Redo the question and we could chop it up.
Yeah, because it's just interesting now that you have this, you're having a steady stream of material coming out, and it's all super high quality, some from the old, some that's new. But how have you seen your flow or the way you're approaching making and working on the music different than it was back in the day?
Yes. Back in the day, the reason that I was doing the music was for me, selfish. The title of this album is Me Versus Me. It's still selfish, but it's selfish in a different fashion. I know that if I pick up a drink or a drug, that the rest of the people around me are going to suffer, right? So that can stop me from taking the first drink. But the shit that goes on in my head after you've been through it could be trauma, it could be addiction, it could be, it could be any number of things, gambling, a car accident, a plane crash, any kind of trauma. It affects you later on in life. And dude, I'm just getting a blank right now. Let's do it one more fucking time. I apologize.
No, it's all good. So back in the day with Tough Crew, you had
how is it different?
Steady stream of albums, and now starting really with Lost Archives, and then Behold the Detonator, Lost Archives 2, and now Me Versus Me, you now have another stream of material. So what's been the difference you've seen with how you did music back in the day with Tough Crew versus now putting out so much on your own?
Well, I think by giving back selflessly to other people, maybe doing shows for free, maybe making beats, maybe promoting another artist on Instagram or Facebook without them, asking me to do it, doing something that I consider selfless. The blessings start to boomerang around from the back, and all these projects started to come together. It could be overwhelming, depending on my perspective. It could be too much going on at the same time, and I can't handle it. But the more clean time that I get, the easier it is to do normal everyday tasks, like slot things, first, second, third, fourth. Prioritize. I never prioritized anything except, how much money did I have and where could I disappear to? So it's a lot different when you show up, and you show up because you want to show up, not because they're making you show up or you got to show up. So it's different now because I'm grateful for it. And I know it's getting close to the end of my life, maybe not the end of my career. I'm not going to be scratching and DJing until I'm 75, 76. I don't know. Maybe I'll be sitting behind a plush in a plush office somewhere working for Def Jam. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So I try to stay in the 24 hours that's given to me right now. When I focus on this 24 hours, I get a whole lot more done. As long as I don't try to multitask too much, because I got Instagram here and I'm cooking food over here, and then it's a different perspective that I've taken on this one, because none of these things actually have to happen. I've dreamed about these things from a jail cell, and now I'm watching them come true. And I just try to be as grateful and as humble as possible.
And directly to that point, you have the Salute the Sample section where LL Cool J, Greg Nice, and DJ Z-Trip are highlighting Tough Crew. So when you first were seeing that, what was that like for you?
Somebody sent it to me on my phone. I inboxed Z-Trip. He sent me the, you know, the link to go get a piece of the original. We reshared it on Instagram. Z-Trip has been like a guardian angel to me for almost 20 years. Way back before the Lost Archives even got on wax, it was still on tape. 1993, they were created. I still got the tapes right here next to me. Z-Trip sent me a Tascam 688 Porta Studio by Federal Express. It was a huge box, and it came in the mail. I was like, oh shit. A couple months before that, he sent me a Rain 54 mixer. You know, he knew I was fucked up, and he told me that he modeled his career in some fashion after how, you know, maybe my scratch style, maybe I don't know, only he knows. But I met him in the Atlantic City DJ Expo. He brought me out to a few shows. He brought me to Central Park in 2007 with Kid Capri, Rakim, Rhyme Fest. I think I told you before, you know, I bought 2 nicks of weed off Styles P. That's my famous story and everything. Z-Trip has always been a staunch advocate of Too Tuff. He told me, all you got to do is get a break beat and scratch something over it. That's it. That's your end. So this one, I took the advice and I told him that. I said, yo, you told me a long time ago to do this, but I wasn't able to do it. I just wasn't capable of it, you know? And as time went on, I never lost the passion or the desire to keep trying. And here we are, you know, we've achieved some form of success. Now the trick is to handle the success well. We know how to handle losses. I took a lot of losses and I'm still here, but the success is different. You know, our demeanor has to be just a little bit different. I told you, I thought I studied to come on the show with you. It's always great to be challenged by the questions that you put out, because they're not the normal questions that any, you know, interviewer would ask you. So it's great to be on here. We could go over like there's Behold the Detonator on wax. There's Lost Archives Part 2. We've got a couple here. You know, that's one of them.
Yeah.
There's a tough crew. Remember, this joint's a special one. And then we got the Lost Archives 2.
Yeah, we'll put the links to some of these projects in the description of the video so people can check them out. So for you, what is it about success that's hard to deal with? Because every time I have a success, I'm excited. Like, that's easy for me. Why is it hard for you, do you think?
It's not hard. I just got to be aware that I don't get too excited that it turns into some type of power drive, some type of anger or whatever. We're on the way to a show. I got a good dude driving me. We make a wrong turn going to New York. You know, you got to go back around a whole bunch of circles. I guess it's like that in LA. Obviously, I'll get to experience that soon. But I could say, you know, dude, you know, I could say something inflammatory, but it's not going to solve the situation because we've already made the wrong turn. Now my job is to just excitement. Because me, it's all about me. Selfish shit. It's all about me. Hey, you might as well name the album Me Versus Me. It's almost like, you know, using it against them, what's called reverse psychology. Shit, against myself. I got to trick myself into wanting to do this sometimes. And it's cool. It's cool. I learned to invite people to invite their opinion into my music. While making Behold the Detonator and this album, I sent the tracks as they were being made to maybe 8 or 9 people, 10 people, trusted people that I know, you know, in the music, some people I grew up with, and I would get feedback. And some people would give me feedback and I would move in a different direction and adjust on the fly. So it's good to have people that are cheering you on, but it's also good to make them feel like they're a part of the music, and they have been a part because some of them were here in this room with me while I was creating it. And the energy that they gave off that day directly contributed to 1, 2, 3. Every song on that album has a little piece of somebody that I needed. I needed it bad because, like I said, there was more than one sophomore wall that year. You know, this album, sophomore album, was a couple different rough spots. Nothing in real life. Real life is okay. Real life is good. Remain grateful, and real life is going to stay okay, right?
Yeah. And then what's it been like reconvening with Tough Crew, working on new material?
Tough Crew is incredible. We have a great time. We're like brothers. It's been 33 years since we did an album. 33 years. We completed a 14-song album. 10 of them are going to come out on the album. We want to also release instrumentals to the Tough Crew joints because we never had instrumentals of our own. So we want to handle that part this time, right? Drop it ourselves. Rough Nation, Eric Victor, who owns Creep Records in Philly, and Chris Schwartz. They've given us carte blanche, open the the red carpet to go to the studio anytime we want. LA calls, they schedule the studio time, we show up, we do a song. It's like a family reunion every time we record a Tough Crew song, because it comes with more than just Tough Crew. We got a huge amount of motherfuckers. They call it a posse, right? Or back then we called it a posse. But we still got a lot of people that come. We need a lot of armbands when we come to the shows.
Yes.
So the album is great. It features Petey Crack on a song called Hell No. Petey says that he was birthed by Ice Dog. And Petey recently was on Drink Champs, and Cal had shouted us out, Tough Crew, so damn tough. Where they from? Philly? And then he started scratching up So Damn Tough. So, the Tough Crew flavor is circulating around. And because of 50th anniversary of hip hop, everybody that had a significant contribution to hip hop is getting real love back. I went out to the Bronx. I seen KRS-One jump out of the crowd and perform for like 90 minutes, dude. He was just killing it. Grandmaster Caz, Kid Capri. I had my son out there. He's fishing on a big lake in the Bronx. And over here on the stones across the lake is the whole jam. So I got one eye on my son. I'm not going to be able to run over there and save him if he drowns anyway. So who am I fooling? But I got one eye on him and one eye on KRS. I'm like, I can't fucking believe it. He just popped out of the crowd. So moments like that, they've been occurring all of my life. And it lets me stay young, man. It lets me stay young. Hip hop just guides my way. And
speaking of that, you guys have Tough Crew, you guys had some shows, getting to go international and do different things. So how has that experience affected how you're approaching, looking at life, looking at music, looking at your work?
I was confined to the walls of my own mind for a long time, whether it was in Kensington or Phoenixville or any other spot that I lived in. The closeness was up here. Getting on a flight with Schoolie D and the rest of the members of Tough Crew, I dreamed about it 15, 16, 17 years ago to go with them, to share a moment with them. God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I was on probation and parole for so long, there was no way to get a passport. So I finally was able to get a passport, got a couple dollars from the pandemic and all of that, used it for the right things that was going to secure something later on. I was used to using everything now so I could secure everything right now. I needed, instant gratification. Now there's more than just me. I look at it a little bit different. We get to Belfast, Ireland, and we're walking through the airport. Fucking Schoolie D's next to me, and my whole team is there. It was a moment. We arrive in Amsterdam, and we immediately leave Amsterdam. We only stayed in Amsterdam for 11 minutes, and then we drove 2 hours away to Helmond. And Helmond is a small town with a lot of castles and moats and shit. And we're like, oh shit. And they give us a hotel with a spa, and it's all crazy fancy and shit. So it was good for me to share those moments after chasing it for so long with the dudes that opened the door to give me a chance to even get into the music. I'm a white kid from 4th and Girard. I didn't, I had aspirations that maybe one day I could be, but I didn't know it was really going to happen. So I just remain grateful, man. It's been a great ride. I ain't got nothing to complain about. Tough Crew made it all happen for me.
Yeah, well, congratulations on all that. And you got Me Versus Me. What else is going on that you'd want to talk about before we bounce?
Well, I'm trying to put together a couple album release parties. We talked about Summer and Ham, Chuck D's new illustrated, book release that's coming out, and an album that's going to follow that. Got a couple remixes, slotted in. We're doing a video this weekend. Tough Crew and Petey Crack. The song is called Hell No. It appears on the Tough Crew album, which is going to drop on vinyl and CD September 9th. Of course, Me Versus Me is out. 20 songs. It's got a clip on there from when I was on the People's Court, just to remind myself of the shenanigans that I've been in before. I wanted to end the album. Remember when you asked me, why did you end the album with Time machine. And I was stumped. I was like, oh shit, I don't know what to say. You know, it's not like I haven't been stumped before in front of you, but so this one, I said, I'm gonna end it with something significant just in case he asks me about the People's Court. I already got that one laid out. There's a lot of stuff going on. You see a smile on my face. I'm very happy to be busy. It keeps me occupied. I'm still running, you know, underneath the L in Philadelphia, trying to shake the devil's hand on my music. But in real life, I try to do the next right thing. And I found that when I do the next right thing, even if I don't want to do it, again, the blessings boomerang from somewhere else, and I can recognize them as a blessing instead of a coincidence.
It's a very powerful thing. Well, congratulations on that, DJ Too Tuff. Always honor and privilege of you coming through the Unique Access, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Soren. I appreciate you, brother. God bless.